average, I spend 10 hours on my phone. I get about 5 hours of sleep every night on average. I drink 2 to 3 water bottles a day. And based off that information, I would say that I am tech dependent.
Okay, I spend about 12 hours a day on my cellular device. I drink about a daily 4 to 5 bottles of water. And how many hours I sleep? I sleep about, on average, a good 10 hours, maybe 6. And wow, I am really tech dependent.
So on average, I spend about 5 hours on my phone, and I drink about 2 to 3 bottles of water, and I sleep 5 or 6 hours a day, I think. Yeah. And I feel like I kind of could be tech dependent, but I'm not really sure.
I want to say I spend around 10 hours on my most used device, which would be my laptop, and like 8 to 9 hours on my phone. I drink about 1 to 2 bottles of water a day. I sleep, 6 to 7 hours, 8 if I'm lucky, most nights. And looking at all that and thinking about all of that, I do think I'm some form of tech dependent.
I would say I spend about a good 10, 12 hours on my phone. I drink about 3 or 4 bottles of water, maybe 4.5 if I'm pushing it. For sleep, it depends on how I'm feeling that night, but I would say about 3 or 4, maybe 5 hours of sleep. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that, yeah, I am tech dependent.
I spend about 7 hours on my phone. I get at least 2 bottles of water daily, and I sleep 7 to 8 hours. I think I'm tech dependent.
I probably spend about like 6 hours on my phone per day. I probably drink like 2 to 3 water bottles per day, and I probably get around 8 hours of sleep per night. Man, I really am tech dependent.
I spend about 7 hours on my phone daily. I drink about 2 bottles of water, and I have about 6 to 7 hours of sleep each day, and I might be tech dependent.
All right, everyone, let's go outside for a little break. Yeah, let's go take a walk. You guys will leave your stuff in this space. Okay. Everybody have everything? Yeah. Should have grabbed water. Say it's been a good day so far. I think it has been. It's been good. All right, come on, guys. You work us like a dog. I got it. That is it. All right, guys, come on.
I forgot my phone. I gotta get it.
Oh, you gonna work it up? We were just going on the walk, so. Okay.
I gotta get it.
So I'm Ariel Taylor. I'm the youth media manager at PhillyCam. PhillyCam is a public access TV and radio station, and I specifically work with youth ages 14 to 21, teaching them media literacy skills that they use to put work on our TV channel and our radio station. I think that the pandemic has helped in the way that we work with technology, but I think it's been like really apparent that there's a really great digital divide, which means that like a lot of low-income folks and minority folks are going without technology. But I also think that in other ways, for those who are able or have the privilege to be able to have technology in their hands and use them, it's opened a lot of doors to communicate with people in different worlds, but communicate with people in different countries and different states, and to kind of expand on our learning. I think that for a while I was going really hard on listening to the news and reading the news. And so I've tried to reduce that amount in terms of being so connected to technology. So on the weekends, I try to take a break. I also think that a lot of people working in offices and buildings and things like that in the workforce, I think that there's been a lot around people managing their emails. And so now there's a lot of people who don't necessarily respond to emails on the weekend, or people have different correspondence in their email that says like, I'm only available from this time to this time. The way that we practice positive interactions with technology at PhillyCam is like in a number of ways. I like to think of us as a media library. So, when you go to the library, there's tons of different books and things that you can engage in. And I think at PhillyCam, the way we do that is through picking up a camera or learning how to do video editing or taking a photography class. But all of that is in mind with thinking about social justice, thinking about our community, thinking about the needs of our community, thinking about where is this message going to go and who is it for. So having more intent behind the technology that we're using versus like just being a consumer of media, but being a producer.
So you really use your technology for good.
We use our technology for good. We use our technology to inform people and amplify messages, and also to stay connected. It's nice to know, what's happening in all of our different neighborhoods, and sometimes the news doesn't really shine a light on that.
That is very true. Do you believe that teens' overall relationship with technology is more positive than negative, or vice versa?
I think that technology and the way that teens use it is complicated. I almost kind of am starting to think of technology as like if it was a human, because humans are so complicated. And I think that the way that teens use technology is also really complicated. It's like everybody wants to be accepted. Everybody wants their messages shared or to feel important. And I think that technology does help do that. But it also can make you feel lonely. It also can make you feel excluded. It also can make you feel unappreciated or less than. So it's a very complicated balance. And I think that the more advanced technology gets, we still can't quite catch up to how to. Yeah, I think when I'm overwhelmed with technology, I take a break. I know this might sound weird, but sometimes I pick up and actually like call people, I don't know if like a lot of people are like me, or like this like millennial digital kind of world where text messaging is really the main form of communication, but trying to like break out of that bubble and actually like hear a voice and talk on the phone, or go out and like do something like gardening or go for a walk. There's so many different ways that you can stay connected that don't necessarily involve technology, but there's also ways that you can use technology. Well, I think it also like depends on the type of person. So you're saying, do you think that being so engaged through communication with technology makes it more challenging to be in person? I think that I think it depends on the person. I think for me as like a BIPOC queer woman, like living in the world, I really enjoyed being in quarantine. I really enjoyed the freedom of being at home and my safe place and being able to like monitor and be on my own time and answer the phone when I wanted to or text people when I wanted to. So it wasn't quite a huge push. So I think it really kind of shines a light on people who are like introverted or extroverted, or people who are sometimes forced to kind of communicate with folks. Even now, there's a lot of different like websites and things that I like went on that I wouldn't not have. Like I discovered like Reddit, which is like not a new thing, right? But it there's a different way to like use it. Like I never really got into it as much, and now, you know, it pops up on my phone, and sometimes there's like really interesting questions that I want to engage in. And there's a series of like different questions that you can ask yourself when you're consuming media. And one of those questions is, you know, like who created it and why? Another one of those questions is this for profit? And who might be gaining or losing? Another question is like, whose stories are being left out of this? And so when you're talking about tech dependency, I think it's really important to kind of step back and look at who is creating all of this tech and why, and who's consuming it and why.
I can't believe you ran all the way upstairs just for your phone.
I know that there's people out here that been on their phone more than me. I'm not tech dependent.
All right, let's go ask some people.
Yeah. How much on average do you spend on your phone a week?
A week, I would say maybe about 30 hours.
Daily?
Daily, maybe about 4 hours.
How many bottles of water do you drink on average daily?
Daily, 1 liter of water.
And how many hours do you sleep on average every day?
About 7 to 8 hours.
Okay, thank you. How many hours daily on average are you on your phone for?
I'd say for a day, 18 hours.
I'm gonna say like 10 to 15.
How many bottles of water do you drink daily on average?
Probably 2.
Probably like 3 or 4.
How many hours do you get sleep daily on average?
Probably like 6 hours, 5 hours.
Yeah, like 5 to 6.
Do you practice wellness, and if so, how do you practice it?
So I practice
Wellness.
I don't practice it a lot, I'll be honest.
Staying up to date with like doctor's appointments and taking vitamins and supplements.
And
how many hours daily do you think you're on your phone for?
Actively, probably about 2.
How much do you sleep daily on average?
On average, between about 6 and 8 hours, I would say.
And how much water do you drink daily?
I have no idea. Probably about 4 8-ounce glasses, maybe, but I'm not 100% sure.
And when you feel overwhelmed by technology, what do you do?
Take a break, unplug, like nothing. No phone, laptop, music, just unplug.
How many hours daily do you think you're on your phone for?
I say about like 9 to 10. On average, like 4.
How much water do you drink daily?
Bottles, probably like 6 or 7. I would say like 5, 6.
How much sleep do you have daily?
Daily, I say like 7, 8 hours.
When you're walking, do you use your phone?
When I'm walking, to listen to music, but if I'm walking with someone else, nah. Rarely.
Check the phone, you use it on your phone?
last week was 65 hours.
Okay, daily, how much are you using your phone?
About 9 hours a day.
How much do you drink water daily?
Uh, Probably like at least 64 ounces a day.
How many hours do you sleep daily?
7.
And how do you practice wellness if you do practice it?
I guess it depends from day to day. I'd say probably for me, talking to my friends helps, taking deep breaths, listening to music, just like anything that helps me to relax. If I'm already in a good mood, things that just make me feel better. And if I'm not feeling so great, just things that make me feel more comfortable.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tech dependency is a frequent and obsessive technology-related behavior increasingly practiced despite negative consequences to the user of the technology. A normal practice with our group is to look at how much time we spend on our phones that work along with the daily averages of how much water and sleep we get. We created a survey based on these 3 elements and facilitated a Wellness Wednesday lesson.
Okay, so everyone should have gotten a link to the survey in the different group chats that you have. We want you to take the survey and be as honest as possible. Check about the time spent on your phone. With iPhones, I know that we have screen time, which is in your settings, and then for Android users, there should be something that says digital well-being within your settings. So if you can go on there and grab your hours from the last full week, which week from Sunday to Saturday of the week, then you should use those hours and then put that into the survey. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, guys, we still need to work more on our trifold board, but let's just go ahead and take a break. Let's go on our nature walk. It's all about wellness. It's all about wellness. Is it? I think it is. Wellness is unnecessary in our daily lives.
To be honest, it is. It is like not. Why are you looking at me like that, Miss Grace?
You should be looking forward to it. Forward is the only. Are we taking pictures? Well, you want me to take one?
Why are your lips so blue? It's not ocean water. It's not.
Alright, why don't you first take this elevator, we'll take the next one, meet you downstairs. Sure.
It was never that fun.
What's so funny?
Did you see the group chat?
Did you forget your phone again?
Yeah.
You want to go back up to the 3rd floor and grab it?
No, I'm thinking about it. Throughout the summer, I learned that tech dependency is real. My phone usage was at an all-time high of 11 hours, and with the knowledge I've acquired about the good and bad of technology, I plan to take some time off of my phone to practice wellness and try and lessen my phone usage overall.
Tech dependency is a real issue, and we urge you to take into consideration how much time you or your teen is spending on their tech. For example, 13% of teens aged 12 to 17 report depression, and 32% report anxiety when spending 3+ hours a day on social media. Between 2003 to 2016, there has been a 43% increase in ADHD and ADD diagnosis, which the JAM Association links to teens' frequent use of digital devices. Brain fog and memory fog may be experienced, stemming from relying on our phone's ability to hold information. In recent years, these statistics have only increased due to the pandemic. However, there is still hope. Our technology was made to serve us, and going completely cold turkey isn't necessary. Statistics show 75% of people say their phones make them more productive as of 2018. Sharing information is far more simple, fast, and accurate, as 79% of people claim that they are likely to share information to others that they found useful or interesting. Also, the 8 dimensions of wellness can be implemented to reduce the negative effects of tech dependency, those being emotional, environmental, financial, intellectual, occupational, and social wellness.